Hi, I'm going to talk to you about how to prevent plagiarism when you're doing the Sojourn project. I think that the biggest key is in preventing plagiarism is to actually teach them very thoroughly how to attribute their sources properly and how to paraphrase. I want to talk specifically about the paraphrasing aspect today. I say begin emphasizing the skill early. Don't assume that their language arts skills are going to generalize over to your classroom. I would communicate the consequences of plagiarism to your students and parents early. Don't expect them to necessarily be familiar with the consequences in the student handbook. Definitely emphasize those up front. I'm going to emphasize them at back to school night. I had students say that who plagiarized just say that they didn't cite their source, which I thought definitely wasn't sufficient, but they kind of slipped by, so I want to let them know that that's not going to work. So I want to get into some specific strategies that you can use to teach your students how to paraphrase in science. It's kind of a different animal than paraphrasing in other subjects. I would have them practice these skills throughout the year, not only when you're doing Sojourn, but kind of here and there, sprinkle that throughout the year. Sometimes students struggle with, well, I've got a couple sentences I want to paraphrase, so then that's going to be 2 sentences in my paper. Not necessarily. Sometimes it ends up being longer and probably should be longer. So I might have them do an exercise where they explain it to their partner out loud in their own words. Then they can type that out and make it more formal or academic later. Let them know that there's some technical vocab that can't be changed, like disease names or technical terms like photosynthesis, kind of like those vocab terms that you've got to keep the same. But other words you can change. Teach them how to use the thesaurus function on Microsoft Word. The shortcut for that is Shift F7, and they love to learn how to do the technical shortcuts. I might have them analyze sentences as to whether they've been plagiarized adequately. There's kind of this continuum between plagiarism and paraphrasing, like totally plagiarized and totally paraphrased, and they have to mark on a line where that would fall on the continuum and explain why. I might take a class reading that we've already done and take a section of that text and analyze that or practice paraphrasing it. I will show them something that's plagiarized or kind of questionable, maybe a work from last year or something even that's been published online, and model my analysis of the paraphrasing and have students also explain why specifically it's not adequately paraphrased. I guess the biggest key I would say with this is that to not get discouraged. Teaching it, skill building a few times isn't going to do it. They're going to be working on this for years, and if we can provide the foundation now, that's one of those college and career readiness skills. I started to see kind of the fruits of our labor second semester when we would be doing other readings, not even doing Sojourn, and they would start to pick up on paraphrasing problems, or we would be peer reviewing and they would pick up plagiarism, which I thought was pretty cool because that's what scientists really do. They kind of police each other and uphold the integrity of the scientific community, which started to happen in my class.